Senator Kennedy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Acting Secretary, welcome. Part of your job, Madam Acting Secretary, is to protect and support employees, is it not?
Yes, sir.
And do you believe that we should protect, do you believe passionately that we should protect and support our employees?
I am passionate about that, sir, yes.
Okay. Do you believe that we should passionately protect and support our employees at the FDIC?
Patriots, you're not going to believe what just happened in Washington. I just watched Senator John Kennedy absolutely grill Acting Labor Secretary Julie Su over the disgusting, downright criminal behavior going on at the FDIC. Yep, that's your taxpayer-funded federal agency, folks. This is the same swamp that claims to protect workers and stand up for justice. And now we're seeing that the rot goes all the way to the top. Today, we're breaking down exactly what went down, why the Biden administration is failing our workers, and what we as Americans need to demand right now.
I do believe that all employees should be entitled to fair pay and come home healthy and safe.
Including the FDIC?
Yes.
Okay. Have you read the recent outside report, 234 pages, about the creepy old men at the FDIC?
I have not seen that, Senator.
Have you heard about it?
I have not.
Are you curious about it?
Yes, I am, sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, the report, the people who conducted the report, Madam Acting Secretary, and I'm surprised you haven't followed it, asked employees at the agency to phone in complaints. There's 6,000 employees, 500, almost 1 out of 10 employees phoned in complaints. Many of them were sexual complaints, sexual discrimination complaints. One young woman said, my supervisor continuously sends me text messages with photographs of his penis. Is that a labor violation?
I mean, it's horrible.
Well, another employee, an Hispanic employee, said my supervisor required me to recite the Pledge of Allegiance because he said I had to prove I'm an American. Is that a labor violation?
I think, Senator, everything that you're saying is not acceptable in the workplace.
Okay.
The technical question about labor violation is, I know they fall under various statutes, but yes.
One young woman said, my supervisor sent me a text message saying, quote, "Get naked, bitch." Is that a violation, labor violation?
I think it's unacceptable workplace behavior, certainly.
It's pretty bad. One young woman said, my supervisor regularly commented on my breasts and my legs and about his sex life. Is that a labor violation?
I think it's unacceptable behavior.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, isn't it? One young woman sent in a complaint and said, one of my supervisors asked me the following question, quote, "Does your husband eat you?" Close quote. Is that a labor violation?
I mean, it's unacceptable behavior. It's disgusting.
Well, what do you plan on doing about it? Don't you think that that all of the senior management at the FDIC should resign and be prosecuted?
So, Senator, I don't know if a complaint was formally made to the EEOC. That is the federal agency that oversees sexual
complaint. You're the labor secretary, and I know from your behavior you believe in protecting employees. Now, this This is as egregious as I've ever seen, and I suspect you've ever seen. And I thought we'd already decided that this is no country for creepy old men. I'm asking you what you're planning. Are you going to call for Martin Grinberg, who runs the place, to resign? He's been there since 2005, and one or two things are going on. If he says he didn't know about it, he's like a rock, only dumber. Or he condoned this behavior. For the Biden administration, does Me Too apply except at the FDIC? Is that what you're saying?
No, Senator. I mean, I have seen some pretty horrible things. I mean, we see human trafficking and people forced to work in unconscionable conditions.
Yes, ma'am, but what are you going to do about the FDIC? And how are you going to protect those employees?
Well, they definitely deserve protection. This is where the Department of Labor's authority over the Fair Labor Standards Act, the OSH Act, and other things, the sexual harassment claims that you were talking about fall under a different federal agency. And
so you're just going to ignore it?
No, I mean, but I think that it's important for agencies to operate under the authority that they've been given by Congress.
Don't you think
one reason
you
I
have
think
a
I didn't
moral
know.
imperative to ask Mr. Grinberg to resign, to quit?
I would say this, Senator. I would say, I think you said that a complaint had been made. I'm assuming it was made to the proper federal agency. I trust that our sister
Not yet,
agencies.
but they're coming. I'm just asking you what you're planning on doing, if anything. It doesn't sound to me like you're planning on doing anything to help these young female employees.
Well, now that you've brought it to my attention, I'm happy to make sure that the EOC is aware that there is a case like this.
But you're not going to do anything about it as Labor Secretary.
Well, let me say this, Senator. I know that the people of America need a very strong Department of Labor to protect working people across this country. Our authority to investigate, to cite, to end bad labor practices are bound by the authority that's given by you to me. These investigations occur at another agency.
You're not going to do anything, are you?
Oh, I just said I'm happy to reach out to them to make sure they're aware of it, and if they need any support that I'm able to give.
Your power to help those employees.
Thank you, Senator Kennedy.
First off, let's get the facts straight. Senator Kennedy confronted Acting Secretary Sue with a 234-page report. 234 pages of employee complaints at the FDIC. We're talking about nearly 10% of FDIC staff calling in with complaints, many about sexual harassment. Supervisors sending lewd photos, making disgusting sexual comments, targeting women, and even forcing a Hispanic employee to recite the Pledge of Allegiance to prove they're American. Folks, that's not just a hostile work environment. That's criminal, that's un-American, and that's the kind of behavior you see in third-world dictatorships, not the United States of America. And what does the Biden administration's own labor secretary say? I haven't read the report. I haven't heard about it. It's not my department. Are you kidding me? This is the person who's supposed to be the champion for American workers? She couldn't even bring herself to call this a labor violation. Let me tell you something. If this kind of thing happened in a private business, heads would roll, lawsuits would fly, and there would be criminal charges. But in the Biden administration, just pass the buck, blame another agency, and hope it all goes away. Then you've got Martin Grinberg, the guy who's been running the FDIC since 2005. Kennedy put it perfectly. Either Grinberg didn't know about this, making him like a rock, only dumber, or he condoned it. Either way, he has absolutely no business being in charge of anything, let alone a key federal agency. But does Sue call for his resignation? Does she promise justice for the victims? Nope. She just says she'll reach out to the EEOC and see if they need any support. That's it. This is the problem with our bloated, unaccountable federal government. These bureaucrats get their six-figure salaries, their gold-plated pensions, and when real Americans are hurt, when our own government employees are sexually harassed and discriminated against, nobody is ever held accountable. All we get is finger-pointing and excuses. You know what else is outrageous? The same people who push Me Too hashtags and lecture us about equity and diversity are silent when it's happening on their own watch. Where's the outrage? Where's the accountability? Where are the Democrats in Congress demanding resignations and prosecutions for this filth? Let me be clear. Every American worker deserves a safe workplace, period. I don't care if you work at a bank, a factory, or a federal agency. If you're being harassed, abused, or discriminated against, the full force of the law should come down on the perpetrators and their bosses who look the other way. But under Joe Biden and his cronies, it's just business as usual in the swamp. Protect the insiders, ignore the victims, and hope the media doesn't notice. Well, we notice. You notice. This is why we need real leadership and real accountability in Washington. We need to drain the swamp, fire the bureaucrats who protect predators, and restore honesty and decency to our government. So here's what I want you to do. Share this video. Let your friends and family know what's really happening in Biden's federal government. Call your elected officials. Demand that Martin Grinberg resign immediately and that every single supervisor involved is prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Vote these swamp creatures out. In November, remember who stood up for workers and who covered for criminals. We're not going to let this slide. We're not going to be silent while our government abuses its own people. We're going to stand up, speak out, and make America accountable again. If you agree, hit that like button, subscribe for more truth they don't want you to hear, and drop a comment below. Do you think Sue should resign? Should Grinberg be prosecuted? Let's get this conversation going. Remember, patriots, the only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good men and women to do nothing. Let's do something. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.